how long will it be before we know whether she made the right decision?
3 years. I mean, I'm just guessing. And it's hard to say. I think that the important point to make here, Diane, and the correct response to your question is what really matters here is not what happened this week. It's what happens over the next 2 to 3 years. What markets are trying to figure out is whether the Fed proceeds to raise rates regularly and consistently over the next 3 years, and the betting in the markets is that it will, and that they'll go up to about 3% over the next 3 years, 0.25% per quarter for the next 3 years. The real question is, what will the economic effect of that long-term shift be? And will that be, in fact, what the Fed does, or does it continue to be willing to ratchet back when it thinks the economy is not performing?
And what about inflation? She says 2% is her target.
Well, I think Jerry's point is right. The question is whether they continue with this program or not. The overall interest rate is incredibly low still by historical standards. This is a very, very small easing our way back into towards a more regular interest rate. But, their time horizon may be 3 years, but the American political time horizon, of course, is 1 year. It is an election year next year, and there is a serious question about whether the softness in the economy, the questions around the labor market, and whether there's really a sort of new structural problems in the American economy. Is there going to be a recession before this next election? That could well determine the outcome of it. Historically, we have not gone this long in between recessions, and so you would argue that we're overdue for one. Clearly, that would dramatically affect the last year of Obama's presidency, potentially be very difficult for Hillary Clinton's presidency. So, for her presidential campaign prospects. And so that 1 year time horizon doesn't really give us the luxury of understanding, what's going to happen in a 3 year sort of the economist perfect world version of this.